Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narotayam. Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jay Uttiraye. Nistiprayeshu Adveshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhakti Uttam Sloke. Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Cantos 8, Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creation, Chapter 16, Executing the Prayovrata Process of Worship. Um, I'll be reading from 38 to 50, text 38. Text 38. Kaship Muni continued by chanting all of these mantras, welcoming the Supreme Personality of Godhead with faith and devotion, and offering him items of worship such as Pada and Agya. One should worship Keshav, Hari Keshav, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 39. In the beginning, the devotees should chant the Devadaksha mantra and offer flower garland, incense, and so on. After worshipping the Lord in this way, one should bathe the Lord with milk and dress him with proper garments, a scarlet thread, and ornaments. After offering water to wash the Lord's feet, one should again worship the Lord with fragrant flowers, incense, and paraphernalia. Text 40. If one can afford to, one should offer the deities fine rice boiled in milk with clarified butter and molasses, while churning the same organic while chanting the same organic matter. One should offer all this to the fire. Text 41. One should offer all of the prasadam to the Vaishnavas or offer him some of the prasadam and then take some oneself. After this, one should offer the deity ashman and then betel nuts and then again worship the Lord. Text 42. Thereafter, one should silently murmur the mantras 108 times and offer prayers to the Lord for his glorification. Then one should circumambulate the Lord and finally, with great delight and satisfaction, offer obeisances falling straight like the rod, Dandavat. Text 43. After touching to one's head, all the flowers and water offered to the deities, one should throw themselves into the scarred place. And then one should feed at least two brahmanas with sweet rice. Text 44 and 45. One should preferably honor the respectable brahmanas one has fed, and then, after taking their permission, one should take prasadam with his friends and relatives. For that night, one should observe strict celibacy, and the next morning, after taking bath with purity and attention, one should bathe the deities of Vishnu with milk and worship him accordingly to the method formerly stated in details. Text 46. In this way, until 12 days has passed, one should observe the Prayo Vrata, worshipping the Lord every day, executing the routines duty, performing sacrifices, and feeding the brahmanas. For Pratipa, until the 13th day of the next bright moon, Sukla Trayodashi, one should observe complete celibacy, sleep on the floor, bathe 3 times a day, and thus execute the vows. Text 49. During this period, one should not unnecessarily talk of material subject or topics of sense gratification. One should be completely free from envy of all living entities. One should be pure and simple devotee of the Lord Vasudeva. Text 50. Thereafter, following the direction of the Sastras with help from the Brahmanas, who knows the Shastras, on 13th day of the moon, one should bathe Lord Vishnu with five substance milk, yogurt, ghee, sugar, and honey. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Atyalipela Mataji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section, slokas translations. And thank you all for joining. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 16, Executing the Payovrata Process of Worship, from slokas 38 to 50. Thank you, Sundarama Prabhu, for giving this opportunity to share a few points that I heard from the devotees and for my own purification. Start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschaptadeshatarani. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're in the section of Vamandev. Just to give a background, in the last chapter we heard Maharaj Parikshit wanted to understand how Lord Vamandev, on the request of 3 steps of land from Bali Maharaj, so he not only took everything from him, but also arrested him. So he wanted to hear that pastime. And Sukadeva Goswami started narrating where the demigods and demons had a great fight after the churning of the milk ocean and after the nectar was distributed by Mohini Murti to the demigods. Then in that battle, being very empowered, the demigods were able to defeat demons. And in that battle, Bali Maharaj was killed or he died. And then, of course, Sukracharya, with his skills using the Mruta Sanjeevani Vidya, so he brought back Bali Maharaj. And then Bali Maharaj, being very obedient to the Sukracharya, so he engaged in his service. And knowing that Bali Maharaj wanted to conquer the heavenly planet, so Sukracharya engaged him in the Visvajit Yajna. And through the process of that Yajna and being pleased, empowered by the Brahmanas and Guru, and also Prahalad Maharaj blessed him. So with all these things, Bali Maharaj attacked Indrapuri. So he went and challenged Indra for a fight. But seeing the Bali Maharaj's great efforts and endeavor and his empowerment, so Indra went to his spiritual master Brospati and asked him, like, what he should do it. And Brospati mentioned to demigods that now Bali Maharaj is empowered, extraordinary powerful, because of the blessings of his Guru and Brahmanas. So demigods will not be able to fight with him and defeat him. So their only hope is to gain the favor of the Supreme Lord. So in any way, so Brahaspati advised the demigods to leave the heavenly planets and be invisible for some time. And Bali Maharaj, along with his associates, he gained the entire kingdom of Indra, and then he started ruling the Indrapuri also. Then Sukracharya engaged Bali Maharaj in performing the 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. And in this chapter, we saw that since the demigods were not visible in the heavenly kingdom, so who is suffering? Their mother Aditi, because of the separation from their sons, from her sons, she was very much unhappy. And her husband, Kashyap Muni, is in meditation. So after many, many years, Kashyap Muni came out from the meditation. And when he came to ashrama of Aditi, he saw that the ashrama is not looking beautiful. as it used to be. And also he noticed his wife is very unhappy. So then he asked, inquired from the Aditi, so why she is looking very unhappy. So and then Aditi informed that her sons are not in the heavenly kingdom, and then they were in invisible situation, and she is feeling separation. So then, of course, Kashyap Muni tried to instruct the philosophy of self-relation and the difference between the spirit and matter. So how one should not be unaffected by the material laws like that, but being a mother, very affectionate to her sons. So Aditi was not satisfied, and she wanted to see how her sons can be back and reoccupy the throne. So then here Kashyap Muni is um, repeating what he heard about the Payovrata Vrasas from Lord Brahma to his wife Aditi, so that her desire can be fulfilled. So that's the section where we are in. So Kashyap Muni started giving this process of Payovrata, how one should do it. And we'll continue from that part from slokas 38. So Kashyap Muni is mentioning in the sloka 38 that by chanting all the mantras and welcoming the Supreme Lord with faith and devotion, and offering items such as Padhya Argya. So one should worship Keshava, Hrishikesha, Krishna like that. So this is one thing, like, Krishna's another name is Hrishikesha. Rishikesha means he is the master or owner of all the senses. So whatever the senses that we received from Krishna, so if we can engage them in the service of Krishna to please Rishikesha, so the master or owner of the senses, then there will be two side effects. So what are the, like Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam Tatparatvena Nirvalam. So the first one is Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam. So we'll be freed from all our material designations. So we don't identify with this body or body related things. And not only that, Tatparatvena Nirmala. So our senses will be purified, so that we'll become calm and peaceful and be situated in a unlimited happiness. So that's the it's called Vrishikena Vrishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyati. So that's a perfect process of bhakti. And other thing here he mentions that one should do anything with the faith and devotion. So when we are worshipping or going through this process of Krishna consciousness, we should develop this great faith and devotion. So when we develop this faith, then Krishna will be very pleased. So we hear many pastimes, am I right? That famous cobbler and Brahmana. Even though this cobbler is born in a very low family, but is a great devotee and he has a strong faith on Krishna. So that's why Lord Vishnu mentioned to Narada Muni that this cobbler will come back to spiritual world after this lifetime, because he has a great faith and he is performing the sadhana with that great faith. But though Brahmana is in a higher birth family, but since he doesn't have that much faith as this cobbler, so this Brahmana has to go so many lifetimes to come back to the spiritual world. So this is one thing, like Adau Shraddha Tatau Sadhu Sangha, like, this Shraddha should have that faith we should cultivate, or we should increase our faith through the association of the devotees and performing our sadhana strong and sincerely. Of course, I'm talking to myself. So then we'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead. And similarly, we see that Mother Aditi is in distressed condition, and she wanted to have her sons back and then reoccupy their thrones. Though it is not pure devotional, but Kashyap Muni suggested here to perform this vrata. So one may be worshipping Krishna for some material benefits, but we worship with great faith and devotion, then Krishna will reciprocate. Yetamam prapatyante tam sataiva pachamyaham. So he will reward them, that person accordingly. So it's recommended, even if we have some material desires, if we worship Krishna, so while we are going through the process of that sadhana, then not only our material desires are fulfilled, but also purification happens. So like that, so that we will lose the interest on material things as we are progressing in the path of bhakti. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he performed a severe tapasya to please the Supreme Lord Krishna for gaining a greater kingdom than their grandfather. But through that process, he got purified, and when Lord Vishnu appeared in front of him, he said that he don't want anything. He came here, he performed that process for a broken piece of glass, but now he got a diamond as the darshan of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So that purification happens, and then we lose the interest of uh, material things, and then will situate in the pure devotional bhakti. So that's why here it is recommended that sarva kama. So even though we have so many material desires, but if we perform this process of Krishna consciousness, then we'll be purified. Not only that, we will all our godly qualities will be manifested. Like Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunais Tatra Samasate Suraha. Like in all the godly qualities will uprise or will rise in us when we take up this process of bhakti. If not, Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna. So if one is not in the process of bhakti, then where is the chance of having the good qualities? And then due to that, how can he be peaceful and happy? So that's why this is very helpful for even one to lead a comfortable and peaceful and happy life in this material world. And then Kashyap Muni is saying that the devotee should chant this Dwadasakshara mantra. So, and Prabhupada gives this Dwadasakshara mantra as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And also the other process of this Payavrata process, like, offering flower garlands, incense, and bathe the Lord with milk and dress him with proper garments, a sacred thread. So all these things are part of the Payavrata process, that this puja. Of course, even while doing the deity worship also, so we do all these things. And Prabhupada mentions that while we are doing the deity worship at home or in the temple, so one should ring the bell with his left hand and offer all these things. Padhya, the water for washing the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and then Arghya, then we offer Vastra, and then Gandha, Mala, Abharana, Bhushna, all these things. Then one should bathe the Lord with milk and again worship him with all these peripherals. Like, one should again worship the Lord with fragrant flowers, incense, and all other peripherals. So unfortunately, we are in the first part of the Kali Yuga. So that's why the predominating process of this deity worship is in the Dwapara Yuga. So Krute Dhyayeto Vishnum Tretamejato Makai Dwapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tadhari Kirtana. So in each yuga, there is a predominating process, like in Kruta Yuga or Satya Yuga, Dhyayato Vishnu, meditating on the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and Treta Mejato Makai in Treta Yugam, so performing the yajna, and Dwapare Paricharyayam. So in Dwapara Yuga, so the elaborated deity worship is the predominating process. Since we are in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, so Kali Yuga just started 5,000 years back, and we still have 427,000 years to go, and which means that we are in the first part of the Kali Yuga. So that's why we are able to still see the very wonderful deity worship in many of the temples. So in most of the ISKCON temples, we see that the deity is dressed very nicely, gorgeously, and then offering the bhoga or performing the arati with all the paraphernals. So in not only ISKCON temples, in many prominent temples also, we see all this elaborated deity worship. But of course, the predominating process for this Kali Yuga is to chant Hare Krishna, because as Kali Yuga progresses, even performing the deity worship becomes a challenge. So we may not be able to do it properly. So that's why Krishna is very mercifully gave this simple process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. so that one can achieve the same results that one would get in other yugas going through the different process. So in the 40th sloka, Kashyap Muni is mentioning that if one can afford, because in some places one may not be able to afford to offer the fine rice boiled in milk with the clarified butter and molasses. So here if Kashyap Muni is saying that, if one can be able to afford, then offer Naivedyam. So the fine rice boiled milk, the fine rice, Sali Annam, Sasaripa, with ghee, clarified butter, then offer it, cook it, and then offer it to Krishna. So offer all this to the fire also. And then one should offer this prasada to Vaishnava, or offer him some prasada and then take some for oneself. So this is a part of the vrata also. So one should feed Vaishnavas. So by serving the Vaishnavas or feeding the Vaishnavas, so one would progress in the path of bhakti also. So there is one nice pastime, like, this dacoit Neela, so he is a thief. So he became a great devotee just by feeding the Vaishnavas. So he got attracted to one girl, and then girl, she doesn't like him because he's a dacoit, he's a thief. And to avoid him, so she suggested, she told to him that, so if you can invite Vaishnavas to your home and then wash their lotus feet and then feed them. For 6 months you do it, and if you can able to do it, then I will marry him. So to please her or to fulfill her desire, so he started doing that. So he initially invites forcefully the Vaishnavas to his house, and then even though he doesn't have much interest, he washed their lotus feet and then feed them. So after a couple of days and months passed away, so his heart got changed by the blessings of these Vaishnavas are serving them. So due to that, so he doesn't have any interest to have that goal anymore. So he became a great devotee. His name is Tirumangaya, became an Alvar. So even Lord Rishabhadev says, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Mauri Mukte. So if we serve the devotees, then one can be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So we see that, the dacoit, because he pleased Vaishnavas, or he served Vaishnavas due to their blessings, he achieved Krishna Prema. And then then one should offer the deity Achamana and then betel nut and again worship the Lord. So this is the process of this Payovrata. Of course, this is also some steps that we do in the temple also. We offer the bhoga. While offering the bhoga, we chant mantras for offering flowers to the Supreme Lord and offer asana. And then we do padhya, achamana, and then vastra. And then we request Lord to accept the bhoga, which was prepared with so much love and devotion. So like that, the deity worship or the steps of the Payovrata has been mentioned by Kashyap Muni here. And then here we see the next steps of the Payovrata, like, one should silently murmur the mantra 108 times and then offer the prayers to the Lord for his glorification, and then circumambulate and with delight and great satisfaction, one should offer obeisances to the Supreme Lord, like Dandavats. Then after touching one's head, all the flowers that are offered or the water, so they should be thrown into a sacred place, not anywhere and everywhere. So it should be thrown into a sacred place. And then one should feed at least two brahmanas, dvi avarana, so minimum of two, bhojyate should feed vipran brahmanas. Prabhupada also mentions in one of the purport that in the Vedic system, after the sacrificial ceremony is completed, then the brahmanas are invited and they request, the host will request the brahmanas to eat the food that is offered to the Supreme Lord, like prasad. Because when brahmanas are honored that prasadam. So it is considered that Krishna has directly taken it. So that's why Prabhupada says that any civilization not based on the Brahmanical culture or guided by the Brahmanas is it doesn't give any happiness to the society. And Prabhupada also mentions that presently the civilization that is progressing is based on mostly sense gratification. So that's why there is no respect to the Brahmanical culture, and people are indulged in Ugra karma. So, like, preparing the big industries and producing all unwanted things. That's why Prabhupada mentions that people are suffering. They're going through so much distress. Uh, Even though economically it looks that advancing, but the problems are more and more and coming like that. And in the 44 and 45 sloka, here it says that one should perfectly honor the respectable brahmanas whom they fed, and then take their permission, and then take prasadam. So whatever the prasadam, that first they have to feed brahmanas and then take their permission. Um, then they can take the prasadam with their friends and relatives. And not only that, they should also observe strict celibacy. So while performing this payovrata process, one should be strict in their celibacy. And then again, after that, in the next morning, again they have to take bath, and with purity attention, they should bathe the deity of Vishnu with milk and worship him according to the methods which were mentioned earlier by Kashyap Muni. So these are the details that Kashyap Muni is mentioning to Mother Aditi, how this Payovrata process should be done. And it should be done like that in 12 days. So you see that, next sloka 46, Kashyap Muni is saying that worshipping Lord Vishnu with great faith and devotion, and one should only drinking milk. So this is a while performing the process of any vrata. So it is suggested to reduce their eating or sleeping, so that they can be able to engage more of their time in the process of Krishna Bhakti. So this is something that we can also implement in our day-to-day life, like, not and not putting so much endeavor to acquire so many material things. Instead, lead the simple life and engage most of our time in the process of bhakti. And also, Kashyap Muni is mentioning that offer oblations to fire and feed the brahmanas, as mentioned before. So in this way, one should do the 12 days. So this process of payavrata is recommended for 12 days. And then worshipping Lord every day, executing the routine duties, performing sacrifices, and feeding the brahmanas. So then in the next sloka, 48, Kashyap Muni is telling that on the 13th day, so 12 days we have to do like that. And on the 13th day, next bright moon, Sukla Trayodasi, like 12 days means Dwadasi is completed. And then 13th day is Trayodasi. So one should observe complete celibacy and sleep on floor, bathe 3 times a day, and thus execute the vow. So this is a austerity that one should go through to complete this Payovrata process. And then on the 49 sloka, Kashyap Muni is telling one should not unnecessarily talk of material subjects. So even Rupa Goswami gives this instruction in a nectar of instruction, am I right? Prajalpo, atyahara prayasascha prajalpo. So one should not talk unnecessarily about the mundane subject matter. So if we have some time, then instead of engaging that time talking about the subject, material subjects, so if we can divert that time or our talks related to the Krishna consciousness subject matters, then that would purify us, that would help us. If we engage in prajalpa, unnecessary talks, so either it could be material topics or maybe some prajalpa where we are gossiping with about some other devotees which are not helpful or doesn't solve any problem. So instead of that, we inspire each other and um, talk about the Krishna consciousness subject matter like that. And the last sloka for today, and Kashyapani is telling that so following the directions of the Shastra. So one should execute Shastra Darshana. So one should follow the direction of Shastra. Because if we don't perform in the directions of the Shastra that which were given, so then Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that they are in the mode of ignorance. Vidihinam asrasthanam, like the person who is in mode of goodness, they don't follow the directions of the Shastra. But the person who is in mode of goodness, he will follow the direction of Shastras. So that's why Kashyap Muni is stressing here that one should follow the direction of Shastra. And also not only that, one should be guided by the Brahmanas. So one should take the help of Brahmanas who knows the Shastra. And on 13th day of the moon, one should bathe Lord Vishnu with 5 substances: milk, yogurt, ghee, sugar, and honey, like that. So these are some process of the Payovrata, the steps of Payovrata, which Kashyap Muni is narrating to our mother Aditi, so that she can perform this process and be able to fulfill her desires. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for joining. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you all. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.